I'm Jim Muehlhausen, author of the 51 Fatal Business Errors and the 8 CEO Secrets. 3 common mistakes that business owners make can cut their profits in half. Now, in general, every company has their eye on profit margin, their cost-benefit analysis, as well as their cost reduction opportunities. In specific, the 3 following areas are how companies can lower their business profitability significantly. 1, forgetting to reduce expenses on a regular and proactive basis. Being a bean-counting, penny-pinching CEO is no fun. However, wasting money comes back to bite you too. Find a happy medium depending on your profit and loss statement. If you've got the money, fine, you can waste a little bit. But most of us don't. So here's a list of typical hiding spots for cost reductions and savings. Telephony, printing, rent, insurance, shop it annually. The cost of money. If you save 1% interest on $1 million, that's $10,000 straight to your bottom line. Legal bills. I promise you I can probably cut your legal bill in half by knowing how to manage your attorney. Accounting. Never notice how your bill keeps creeping up every year? That's because he or she has control of the customer. You listen to one of the other 8 errors and you'll learn about controlling the customer. IT. Just delaying your computer purchases on a 4-year cycle instead of 3, 33% savings. Freelancers versus full-time employers. Offshoring. Now, I know this rubs some of you the wrong way, but there are big cost savings for the right situations. Using China, India, the Philippines is not just for big companies anymore. Second method, overpaying marginal employees, especially salespeople. Now, if you've ever had a key person quit unexpectedly, your initial reaction is, uh-oh. But as time goes by, you realize that you may have been paying $75,000 for 1/6 of a job, or that the employee had a bunch of make work. Now, as CEOs, we have to manage a million different things, including our operating margin and these costs. Managing all of these variables is pretty overwhelming and makes people that just handle it for us very valuable. However, sometimes we keep paying these people just to not deal with it even when we don't need them. Now, one of my favorite questions for business owners is, hey, if we fired Sally and you had to do her work, but you could keep her pay, which would you take? Would you keep her and pay her, or would you take the $50,000 that you pay her? Most of the time, the owner says, she's out of here, because she's really dead weight. So, who in your organization might meet that qualification where you could eliminate that cost? Number 3, focusing on sales versus margin. You don't pay your bills with sales. You pay them with margin. Now, there's no silver bullet in my world, the world of consulting. However, fixing low margins is probably the closest thing to that elusive silver bullet. If your margins are low, your life is tough. Never enough money to go around, right? Well, that's the low margins. Now, I understand that raising prices, the typical way to increase margins, is very scary and difficult, but I challenge you to review this gross margin calculator that we've got in the printed air regarding the impact of price increases. For instance, if you raise your prices only 4%, $5 to $5.20, you can lose 25% of your business and still make the same dollars of margin. In fact, you'll make more money because costs are not driven by sales, they're driven by transactions, meaning printing invoices, answering the phone, providing customer service, all that costs. And so if your margins are low, you still have to provide all those services with low margin. Now, if you feel you will lose too many customers with a small price increase, I challenge you, why? Is your position with the customer so weak that they won't pay more? There's a cost side of the equation, there's a value side of the equation. Figure out a way that you can add more value to your customers so you can increase your margin. Every successful entrepreneur that I have met does 2 things. 1, they're focused on gross profit margin. And secondly, they have positioned themselves in a business with a strategy that has great margins. Now, go down to the bottom of this page. Go ahead and fill in your first name and your email, and I'll email you all 8 of these secrets, including the gross margin calculator. And go ahead and fill that in, and I'll look forward to talking to you on the next page.